What is up, everybody? So I can see I'm having some connection issues because it is storming out here. So if it makes the stream go to shit, might have to bail out, but we'll see. We will do our best. It's not running too bad, but stormy weather is storming. You never know. Anyway, so they announced the next event, and it's a Gooda one, which I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think they were going to do another Gooda because I didn't think a Gooda event would be 5.5 locked. But here we are. So I'm actually kind of happy about it. I mean, you know, Gooda is normally pretty weeby, which isn't exactly up my alley, but they're normally, not always, but they're normally decent content, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Rabbit. Alrighty, 10 apples, I'm okay with that. That is the wrong button, although I might as well collect my loot if I still can. Yeah, there we go. Gimme. You kill my mouse here. Yeah, I'm dropping a few frames, I see. Quite stormy outside, like I said, so might get worse as we go, we'll see. Yeah, anytime they do a Gooda event, I'm always hopeful we get some of the characters that they've shown off but have never been playable. Like Maxwell's Demon and things like that. So you never know. Alright, off to Babylonia. Alright, I want to show off something with Stheno. He's technically not a low star, but it's not gonna matter. He's not even counterclassing. We'll go with... I still have not unlocked Ushi's stuff, and she's still in P1. And I think she's the only 3-star now on this account that's in P1. My god. The horror. I really should have leveled Martha then. I really don't have a good anti-caster right now. Maybe it's a beast? Would like that. Still don't have a good craft essence for Stheno either. Good enough. Okay, so hopefully I get the skill animation that I want here, but when I was farming in the Gooda event rerun that we have right now, I realized one of Saito's skill animations, I don't know how to describe it, but it really reminds me of that waddle emote that Lost uses. Just like his facial expression and everything, it super reminds me of that. So Lost, if you could post that, we'll see if I can get him to do the right animation here. Okay, that is indeed a beast. Let me put it in slow-mo here. Okay, not that one. Got 3 tries at this. Yeah, that right at the end, like just he got like that overly serious face with his arms to the side. It just, I don't know, same energy for me. Maybe I'm crazy. But I can't unsee it now. I saw it because he did it twice in a row, and I had it in speed mode, so I was like, huh. All right, let's see if we can get a lucky crit with our boy here. Do I want to do? Nah, I'll save that. I was thinking about doing the Buster up. It's like 30k. Let's see, we already fought Gorgon. How far into are the... Because I want to get to the boss fights, right? I'm trying to think how far away we are from the good content. Apparently Legend is lurking. So what does it look like, chat? My OBS says I've dropped 8% of the frames, which is pretty bad. So, let me know what the lag is like. Mostly fine. I'm guessing it's like having spits of rage. Oh, fuck. You know, I might really pay for bringing a, bad support here, we'll see. The music knows. Got that Virgil theme. Don't worry, Stheno did 14k, we're saved. But yeah, they didn't actually put a date for the Good event, but I think they said mid of the month, so probably pretty soon, to be honest. Maybe in like in a week or so. He'll probably die next turn. I didn't want to use the Star Bomb here because there's no cards that really matter. But better take it while I can. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Lonely. I didn't expect them to do a story lock. Stream is on the 17th. Well, yeah, it's probably gonna be around then, so probably a week. I hope it's good. It should be. Most good events are decent, except for like the original one and then this last one. Those two kind of suck. But the rest of them are decent, and it's 5.5 locked, so 97%. Well, time to use this. Not sure they're gonna do 100k though. Hopefully I can get the footage of the mini Nobus that I need though. Oh wow, Protoku did way more than I was thinking. Underestimating my boy there. That's pretty good, because they did about the same damage, but Saito had the Mystic Code in P-up. And now we have a caster. That's pretty bad for us. Good thing our back row can probably clean up. This thing is going to kill everything we got out, though. I mean, we don't know. It has nothing to do with 5.5 characters. It might have Doorman in it or something. We'll see. But yeah, it does seem kind of arbitrary, and they've had some... I mean, honestly, most of the story-locked events are really arbitrary. And it's like, oh, it's vaguely connected to the main story in some bullshit, not important way. So I feel like I really think this. I think the reason why these story-lock events every once in a while, and they don't do it often, they really don't. They've slowed down doing it dramatically over the last like year and a half. I think this is the first one they've done in ages. But I think the reason they do it is to try to get more of the player base to be caught up on the story. That way when they release a new main story, it's actually hype. And they want people playing it and talking about it and, you know, so on and so forth. And you got to get people up to like Lost Belt 6 if you want them to be able to play Lost Belt 7 when it drops. I don't know why else they do it half the time, because a lot of the other events that have been story locked, there really wasn't a good reason for it, especially that they've added systems now that are like, you know, hey, this event has spoilers for Lost Belt X, so you can play it if you want to, but, you know, heads up, right? They've done that now, so I don't get the point of locking it anymore. I think they might use this event to give out a lot of coins for a lot of the past good welfares. That would be my guess. Yeah, I think David can NP next turn. I'm hoping we get a Mori rate up. Although, I don't know, man. It's like, I only got 800 SQ right now. I don't want to have to roll for a 3-star that I've already got at NP5, right? It's stupid. So I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, I want Mori's starting NP, because that's awesome. Because this whole thing is you crit at the start, and then NP the turn after. And if you've got that extra 20% starting NP, you have just more options to do that. So it's really good, but yeah, it fucking sucks to have to do that. Like, if I was sitting on like 2000 SQ right now, I'd be more willing, but I am not. I hate this speed mode thing, because it goes off when I don't want it to. If you click anything on the... You can click up top to like switch targets, and it'll go into speed mode. I wouldn't mind it if it was optional, and people have said it's optional, but I've looked into it, it's not. There's no option to turn it off. What they think is optional is just don't click the screen, but you're gonna click, like I said, you could click the button too hard and it'll count. You could be already tapping to click another skill. You could be tapping to switch targets up top and it'll activate. And the reason it's not good to activate, especially from like, you know, a content creator standpoint, is if I'm making a video, especially if it's a hard boss fight, you know, where like the skill order matters and there's nuance and stuff, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, well, guess what skill I'm using? You have a millisecond to find out, right? Like, I don't want that. It's terrible for my videos. And they keep doing stuff like this and they don't make it optional. I don't get the point. If I do it too much, the game starts freezing later. That sucks. I haven't done it much, so I don't know if mine would freeze or not. I've been trying to stay away from it, but it activates. Because I'm trying to not get in the habit of clicking it, because when I make a video, I don't want it happening. Because it looks terrible in a video, and like I said, it makes it hard to follow along. So yeah, I don't like it. Like, again, I don't care if it was an option. If they want to let people play super blender mode and, you know, they don't even see the game anymore, that you know, fine. But I don't want to have to do it. Also, I feel like the oh, Cairo had it on his stream. Damn, that sucks. I better be careful then, because I just used it like 3 times on accident there. But yeah, I feel like as they keep adding features like this, it just starts taking away from actually playing the game, and it keeps incentivizing this grind, farm, play, progress for the sake of progressing, and you know, it just, nobody actually plays the game anymore, and it's like, then why bother? Rip David. We're actually struggling on this stage because the team we brought is so bad. But I wanted to show off Saito. Oh. I should have used Protoku's first skill, because then you'd have the debuff resistance. George has got this. Look at that big damage. Hey, Cairo. Like I said, I agree, like with white flags, that to me it's unnecessary and it makes my videos look worse and things like that. But I don't mind it being optional. It's just, it's not optional, and that's my issue. Like, same thing with their air quotes widescreen update, right? It's not optional. Okay, let's take this a little bit more seriously. So we've got... The caster's probably the problem, because I have assassins. We'll go with Medusa. Wait, she's grailed. I'm not supposed to use grailed people. Ricky it is? Wait, that's not, no, he's a, what am I gonna... I was like, he's not a writer. I was like, yes, he is. What is wrong with me? Ricky's not a writer. The poor horseman. Losing my mind. So chat, I'm having a slight problem with avoiding Elden Ring spoilers because I want to watch the PvP stuff. But when you watch the PvP stuff, the YouTube algorithm is like, so you want everything Elden Ring related, right? So, yeah, that's been a problem. Gotta love algorithms, man. I just got an Elden Ring ad. There's nothing you can really do about that one. That's on the devs at that point. Do I guess I do this and then that. Okay. And George. Gotta get that bond up. I've been spoiled on one boss, unfortunately. I don't know its moveset. I don't know when you run into it. But I've seen a boss. There's a PvP video that has like a 3-second clip of a boss battle. It's just in the middle of it for some fucking reason. And yeah, so I saw a boss, but what are you gonna do? Overall though, I haven't seen shit, so I'll be going in pretty blind. Alright, let's... Do I cope scope? Yeah, you never... I don't know when I'm gonna wanna throw that out. So I think NA is going to get the Caligula animation update early. I think you'll get it with 5.2 because I think we're supposed to add it in 5.2. It just wasn't ready because they added it later for just no reason. So I really do think NA is going to get Caligula's animation update a bit early. So that's nice. I could see them getting the Knights of the Round Table updates early too because they're not tied to an event or a main story, and those are the ones you pretty much always do get early. Okay. Do I evade right off the bat? Yes, because I don't think this thing is going to get its NP. You're not getting insane lines, though. That's not going to happen. You'll get it, though, in the story, right? Hey, Duvampa, thank you for the sub, man. I still remember doing your account review. Okay, so Ricky still has his evade. But I kind of want to do his first skill anyway. Chat, am I biased? I feel like Ricky just pulls off the multicolor thing so much better than most characters, and like, especially Ushi. Like, I'd still say Ricky maybe is going a little too overboard with the colors, but it works pretty good. Normally when they go really color spammy like that, I'm not a fan, but it works pretty good. I don't mind it on him. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just biased here. Do I art chain? Might as well. I think if Ricky had one more color, it would be a problem. Right? Like, I think he's right on the edge, but I think it's okay. But like, most of the color spam servants where they're going like, taste the rainbow, I don't care for it. Like, Ushi looks ridiculous. Casterdill looks ridiculous. There's a few other ones. You know, Calamity Jane, like, dear God. Like, her fucking shorts are 2 different colors. Why though? Like, who needs this? Yeah, I don't even need to bring up Say. Couple of extra colors in there. Problem is, like, Calamity Jane is so unpopular that I just don't see her getting a costume. That seems very unlikely. And if she did, it'd probably be bad anyway. So I did not need to use Cope Scope on a Rosh. I mean, they barely updated the command code UI, so it's pretty much just as bad as it's always been. There's actually something I really want to talk about. I would have talked about it today, but because I'm having some like lag issues with like the storm going on, I don't want it to like skip over frames when I'm explaining stuff. But I kind of want to compare, because there's a lot of one-to-one comparisons between the UI and FGO and like Arknights and stuff, where Arknights is just a million times better. It's fine right now. Okay, I might do it real quick because it's kind of funny. I was looking at the 2 of them, and it's just funny how like extremely comparable they are, but then like how much worse Elfgo is at literally everything. Let's see. I guess I just go blammo here. Sorry, Arash. I mean, we could, no. Yeah, it's better to bring in Stheno. The last one's probably a writer. Yeah, it's storming where I live. It's been storming all day, really. What I'll do is I'll jump on the Hercules account real quick. Because I might accidentally start a stage and waste AP and things like that, and I don't want to do that over here, so I'll jump over there. I can use Lost Belt 6 as the example, because that's like the newest, most relevant content. But it'll get into the command code UI. That's why I'm remembering this, because it has, the command code UI is a good example. But I'm gonna have some real, like, constructive criticism here, right? Because like, people always say, well, you gotta recommend an alternative. I have plenty of alternatives. Yeah, Zeus is mad, apparently. I should have NP'd with Ricky so long ago. He's just sitting here with way too much NP. So I really like Ricky's animations too, because they fit the character, they're not super over the top, but they're also not like ridiculously boring. So they're pretty good. Trying to think though, which low star do I think has the best Caligula? It's Caligula. I don't need to finish that sentence. Alright, which 3-star has the best animations? Let's see. There's a few good options. Actually, Genkei's NP is really, really good. And Ricky's is good. Not Diarmid, true. Okay. And there I go, accidentally doing the speed mode. Caesar's pretty good. Yeah, Caesar's pretty good. Alright, chat, let's see the damage. I don't mind Bedivire's, but I don't think they'd be as my favorite. Antonio's pretty good. Ushi's are pretty good. Like, her attacks are pretty cool when they fit the character. Asclepius, yeah, actually, no joke. It's easy to overlook Asclepius because he's a support, but I really like his attacks, and then his NP is awesome. Poor Ricky. I'm not crazy about Castricus, to be honest. They're a lot like, some of the individual animations are okay, but he has such a small animation set that they end up being pretty repetitive. William Tells are alright. Some of them are a little silly, to be honest, but I don't mind his, and the NP is pretty classical. Okay, my title is a lie for a second, so I guess I'll take the Stheno account out of the title for a moment here so I can... There we go. We'll be back on the Stheno account in just a second, but I'm gonna be all over the place here to... I'm gonna get really clear about this. I don't want this to be vague. So hold up, I'm gonna bring up Arc Knight so I can just like pull it all over the screen like any second. And I'm gonna have my Hercules account up, because we're gonna use that as the example here. Yeah, actually, Mori's pretty high for me. I really like Mori's attacks. They're very meaty and just bang, bang, boom, boom. I like that kind of thing. And I love his NP. Yeah, actually, for just 3-stars specifically, it probably is Mori for me. And obviously, you know, I'm biased because he's one of my favorite characters. But, you know, like, Ku is my favorite character, but his animations are not very good, sadly. Excuse me, the Hercules account needs to patch. Thankfully, that didn't take very long. Okay, I'm almost ready. I'm just getting like the screens to where I want them here. It's not how you pronounce that. Okay, man, I just realized how similar these UIs are. Okay, I think we is ready here. Oh, that's good. I actually hadn't logged on my Herc account today, so I needed the login rewards. Okay, so it's time for literally everything this game does wrong. So let me make sure the screen switching works. Okay, but look how similar this is, right? It's the same format, but okay, so where do we even start? Okay, first things, right? You want to, let's say let's say this was Fluffy or Morgan or, you know, actual content that you might be struggling with. Or if it was an event, you could be farming and you're like, oh man, my DPS almost cleared that wave, so I could 3-turn it, but they're just barely not doing enough damage. Let me go upgrade their skill, you know, so they do a bit more damage and get their mana burst up. Or, you know, if you're doing hard content, you might want to go change your command codes or whatever. So there's reasons why what I'm about to say matter, and because I interact with this stuff all the time. So first thing, we click the stage, and you get this stupid like warning that you have to go through. That's like, you have to watch the story before the stage or whatever. Are you sure you want to do it? And then you have to go through this every time. By the way, if you lose the stage, if you cancel out because you want to go change your skill ranks or command codes, you have to every goddamn time. And then you gotta skip it, obviously, especially if you've already seen it. Okay, so you get in here. Oh my god. Okay, so we get in here. So let's say, you know, we say, okay, it's a saber, or maybe I've already failed it. I'm twinking the team. We're like, okay, I'm gonna make Robin the main DPS. So now I need to give Robin command codes, especially if it's hard content, right? And there's no way to do that. I cannot give Robin command codes here. And if I was like farming, and I'm like, oh, I need to make my mana burst higher on like Lancer Artoria so she can clear the wave, I can't upgrade that here either, right? I have to leave. Now, here's the problem. So first, we have so many issues here. First, if I want to go back, I can't. It's like if I go back right now, it will force me to revert the team to the way it was. No, I have to. I cannot go back unless I revert the team to the way it was. Unless, for literally no reason, I click the button. Oh, let me turn my cursor on here because we're going to have a lot of... Okay, but I have to click this. I have to go forward to set the team, right? Now I can go backwards. But if I was already on this screen and I hit that forward button like out of reflex, I would start the stage and I would lose my AP. And that like what? Like what are we doing? Like what is the point of any of that? Like that pre-screen should not exist. Anyway, so we go back, and then it's like, are you sure you want to go back? If you go back, you have to watch the story again. Which, I mean, why? Why do I have to do that, right? So now before I get into the next part, let's go over to Arknights here and see the exact same thing. You just click the start button and you're in, there you are, right? It shows you the story after. And then after you've seen it once, you don't have to watch it again. And if you want to watch it again, you click this right here. Like, hello? And like, look, like, because they actually used their screen space. Because look, this is just like FGO's screen, right? Except when you click, then you get options. Like, your options are right here. So if I want to watch the story, it's right there. And I don't have to go through like 8 menus every time. And okay, now that we're in here, let's say I'm like, okay, we're gonna use Ashe as the main DPS. I can click Ashe, and then I can adjust anything I want. Right here, I can level up her skills, which actually I probably can't because I think I'm missing one of the mats. Yeah, I am missing one of the mats, so I can't actually do that. But I could level the skill. I can change her NP rank. This is NP rank in this game, right here. I can level her up right here. All done, right? And then boom, I'm back to the team screen, and I can start the stage. And you might say, oh, FGO doesn't have the UI for that. Nuh-uh. They literally do. They're just too stupid to use it. Now, see, now I have to go through this again. I have to go through this again. And by the way, we're just getting started, right? This gets so much worse. There's so much more wrong with this UI than what I am describing right now. Like, it gets so much worse than this. So yeah, now I have to go through like screen after screen after screen. Okay, you know what? Here it is, chat. Look. Boom! What is wrong with this game? Why can't this screen? Why can't I level up the skills here? Why? Right? Like, you got everything here. Look, I could buy the passives. You got your NP rank, command codes. You could do them right here, right? You could just click them right here, right? You click the thing and then you just drag them into the card you want. There you go, right? Look how much easier this is. And by the way, FGO makes significantly more money than Arknights, right? Like Arknights is tiny in comparison to FGO. And it has nothing to do with the game engine, right? This game engine can support the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Now, yes, FGO is a slightly older game engine, it's Unity, and so the loading screens might be a second longer and stuff like that, but that's not, I'm not complaining about that stuff, right? It's like, they are just so wasteful and stupid. Like, this UI doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Even though it could fix all of their problems, right? Because instead, if I want to go change my DPS's command codes, you know, I gotta go backwards to go forward. Actually, I'm sorry, I have to go forward to go backwards, right? You have to go through all these confirmation messages, but we're not done yet. Oh, no, we are not done yet. Now we gotta do this, then we gotta do this, and then, oh, I'm sorry, this. Okay, now this, it gets even dumber. So in Arknights, God, this game is so much easier to play. You just click operators, right? Now, if I click Matterhorn, it's all here, right? It's all, I don't have, let's say Matterhorn's level 1, and I'm like, okay, new unit, let's get them ready, right? Let's level them up. I'm gonna go use them. All here. I don't have to do his XP here, then back out and then go to a different menu and then click Matterhorn again and then do his NP rank and then back out and then, like, you don't have to do that. You just click Matterhorn one time and then all the information you need is right there. FGO, oh no. You gotta go to skills and then you gotta find the unit, which thanks to all the different smart sorts in this game, they're probably not gonna be in the same spot, right? And then you level the skill and then you gotta back the fuck up. Oh god, I hit back one too many times. You know, then you gotta find the other menu one. Okay, there's command codes, right? And you gotta do everything. It's so needlessly slow, right? Literally just have a menu for servants and then you click the servant you want and then it goes to that menu that we just showed, right? That has their skill ranks, their NP ranks. It's all right there, right? The UI already exists, so they barely have to do anything. And it's so much better. And then, so everyone's like, oh, they fixed the command code UI. They did no such thing, right? They did no such thing. Like, look at this shit. Look at it. Like, if I want to unequip these, it's all the same. Like, why is there a confirmation message here? Like, why? And why when I click it, why do I have to watch a fucking animation? Look at it, and then I have to do that. One. That's one. Now okay, now that's two, right? This takes forever. Like, and then imagine playing any other video game and it doing this, right? Me and Cairo play this game called Orcs Must Die. It's a tower defense game / like third-person action game, right? So before the stage, you select your traps, you can pick trinkets and passives and shit, and then you play the stage. And there's a lot of, like, you can adjust the traps and upgrade them in different ways. So there's a lot of management you can do before a stage, right? And every time you bring like 10 items and you can change what those 10 are between levels, right? And you know what doesn't happen when you want to, between levels, when you want to switch two traps around? It doesn't play a fucking animation. Like, no shit. Why would you do that? Like, imagine if you equip and unequip a craft essence and it played an animation, right? That really articulates how stupid this is. Because I saw someone saying, oh, it's only like a second and a half. And, you know, it doesn't bother me. I don't even use command codes that much. How is that a defense of this, right? Just because you don't use command codes very much doesn't mean this makes literally any design sense, right? Because there's no reason to do it. And the obvious example is if there was a reason to do it, craft essences would have a fucking animation when you equip them and unequip them. It's pointless. And they know it's pointless. And they don't, it's been years, and they're like, oh, Green's so ungrateful, and he's just looking for reasons to not like the game. Look at, like, as I have just demonstrated over here, it's called standards, right? You know, Arknights has fucking standards, right? It's reasonable. This game is a fucking dumpster fire, and I'm supposed to be over here like an imp, like, yes, thank you for giving us this tiny ass update 3 years after adding command codes into the game. Like, if they had done the tiny fucking command code update that they did, if they had done that like a month after adding command codes, then yes, I would compliment them. They did it 3 years later. You waited 3 years and you barely changed anything. And I'm supposed to be like happy about this? Like, it blows my mind. I feel like most of the people that have, I said this to Cairo the other day, the people that have standards don't play FGO anymore. right? Because they got sick of it really quick, and they just are playing different things now. You know, meanwhile, unfortunately for me, I really like Fate, and their core combat system is good, and I like the characters and the music and the voice acting and all this stuff, so I don't want to quit the game, and so I'm just sitting here dealing with this just insane UI from like fucking 1995. Actually, I'm sorry. I have legitimately played games from 1995 that have better UIs than this. Like, actually, it's not even close. Like, this game has just such a bad UI, and they've had so much time to fix it, and they've had, more importantly, so much money to fix it, and instead we get animation updates for the mailbox, and then we get this tiny command code UI update that has, it does not have, like, everything I just talked about, that's the problem with command codes. You know, yes, it's annoying before that you couldn't switch them from one server to another, but that is not the main problem. The main problem is this. Look at this. If I want to switch between the command code UI and playing a goddamn stage, or going from the stage and then going back, it takes 8 years. Meanwhile, in every other video game ever created, it takes like 3 seconds, if that, right? It's stupid. Like, why do I have to watch this cutscene every time? Did anyone else here get stuck on Fluffy, or was trying to do Fluffy with a budget team or whatever, right? So they had to do it a lot. Did anybody else go through that? Because you had to go through that UI hell every single attempt, and it was just like, why? It was just like, why? Why do I have to do this? When in any other video game, you just start the damn stage, right? And then like the whole going like forward to go backwards thing, someone explain to me why that exists, right? Like that pre-screen doesn't do anything, and it literally blocks you from backing out of the stage unless you revert your team. Why? Like, just why? I cannot even fathom why that exists, and the thing is, it existed day one of FGO, right? So you gotta remember, the people that designed the game when it was just for Yuki and Orleans and that crap, and you had like the slower AP recovery and no daily quests and no login rewards. When FGO was that's when they made that UI, right? It was same devs, same inexperience, same everything, and they haven't changed it 6 years later, right? Now, after all the money and all the other improvements, we still have this UI from hell, right? And I don't think it's asking for too much from a game that is this profitable to just take a fucking minute or hire someone and just fix the goddamn UI, right? I'm okay if the loading screens are longer than other games because it's an old game engine, stuff like that. I'll give them a pass, right? But with how much money this game, and it's not good for them. Here's the thing, it's not good for the game because a lot of people get into FGO and quit in like an hour because it's shit. I mean, because you're doing for Yuki, which is joke content. You get to Orleans, it's still joke content. You get to Septum, still joke content. You know, Oceanus, still joke content. You know, the game is like so autopilot for like the first like 6 hours or 8 hours, depending on how you're playing. And you're dealing with this crazy clunky UI, and there's no engaging content. The early story has horrible writing, and it's full of filler. This is not good for the game, right? Having a bad UI, having no safety net, having a filler-filled, boring-ass, easy story for like 10 hours or whatever the crap it is up to Camelot. That is horrible for your game. That kills new player retention. And over the years, I mean, they've lost, so many players because of this. And FGO is still a successful game, but it could be so much more successful if they would have just fixed this stuff. And it might be too late now. I don't know. I think, a lot of people that were going to try the game have probably tried it by now, and you're probably not going to get them to come back. But, yeah, so that's my UI rant, and I think that shows it pretty clearly, right? When you look at the story difference and how this one, you just click the thing, you start the thing, if you want to change a servant, boom, we're all right there, and you're done. And FGO, again, has the exact same UI. When you're on the team screen like this, you have the same UI, they just don't let you do anything from it. You can't level skills there, you can't level up there, you can't do the MP ranks there, you can't do anything from that UI. So it's easy fix, but I don't think they've even thought about it, honestly. Like I really worry that like like the developers behind you know, Type Moon, DW, Aniplex. I'm not sure they even like play other games seriously, right? Like I think Aniplex vaguely keeps track of other games, like other games have PvP, so we need it too, right? Stupid shit like that. But I don't think they actually play these games, so I don't think they're even like seeing the inconvenience that I'm talking about here and how it takes like 80 years to change command codes. Like it's just the amount of copium like I saw on the wiki and my own Discord when like they're like acting like the only reason I don't like the UI is because I have like a bone to pick with FGO and I'm being unfair and I don't want to like the command code UI. It's like, fuck you, I would love to like the command code UI because I have to use it constantly, and that is why I'm aware of how bad it is and how little that update changed. And like I'm sitting here like in the fluffy, you know, team screen, and if I want to go change some of my command codes, it's like a battle. It's like, oh great, I have to back out for like 90 clicks and then sort through the menu, go through all these crazy animations, go back into the team screen through 90 clicks, and then God help me if I'm like, oh shit, I need to switch those two command codes around. You know, you have to do it again, right? Like, it's awful. It's just awful, and I don't really think there's any excuse for it at this point, right? I mean, if the game had just launched, sure, but I think it's very reasonable to be annoyed with the UI right now when it's so many years into the game and they've had so much opportunity to change it, and when they finally do something, they finally did something to address the command code UI, and it's tiny, and then it's lazy, and it's barely getting into the issue, and then over half the community is like, oh, it's the command code UI. I saw people on the wiki saying, oh, Green's gonna be happy because they fixed the command code UI. I'm like, what do you mean fixed? Like, this is not even, like, it's barely a band-aid, and it what takes 3 years to get a band-aid? Imagine you're like a kid, right? You trip and fall on the sidewalk, you know, and then your mom's like, okay, give me a second, I'll get you a band-aid, and then 3 years later, they get you the band-aid, and you're like, I don't need a band-aid anymore. Like, oh, how ungrateful, right? Like really? Like, again, if they had done this update literally like 2 years and like 6 months ago, I would have given them praise. I would have. But context matters. It's been 3 years, and this is all you did. You don't get praise, right? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Mom left to get a band-aid, never came back for 3 years. I'm not sure that's what never means, but I think that's the joke. That was actually funny. I didn't realize just how similar like the map layout was until you really think about it, right? Because obviously their aesthetics between Arknights and FGO is really different, but it's actually pretty much the same thing. It's just Arknights is a lot better. And now that I think about it, I guess Epic 7 pretty much has the same UI. Now I will say this, Epic 7, their UI is better than FGO's, but not by as much as Arknights. Arknights UI is like light years ahead of it, and it's very similar. Where Epic 7's like UI is kind of a different, there's a lot of differences in those games, but they do let you go to like the team screen and instantly adjust a unit and stuff like that. What really saves Epic 7 is their game engine is so efficient. From what I understand, they made their own game engine from scratch, and it's basically made for their game. And it's like flawless, right? The loading screens are unbelievably short. There's barely any loading screens. Like, everything's really smooth and fast. So that helps them a lot. But they have decently good UI design, certainly better than FGO's. Yeah, the lack of account system is the real thing to be upset about, right? Like that's honestly so dumb. I don't feel like I need to talk about it. It's like, yeah, the game doesn't have an account system, right? Like, that is so, the problem there is so self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go into that. And that's become so standard to have an account system. It's like, you know, maybe someday. All right, let's we summon David, because David's strong. Yeah, we also, that's another thing, we don't have numbers on skills. Oh boy, the thing is that some of that is a Japanese developer like standard. They've been getting better over the last like 5 years. It's like that's just such a thing with Japanese games. Like it was like fighting games, Japanese fighting games. They don't share until like really recently, and even now it's like taboo amongst a lot of devs. They don't share frame data, like, and they don't even want to address frame data. Like they won't call it that, like in interviews or panels and things like that, right? Like they wanted to obscure everything and like try to keep everything natural or some bullshit, right? Like players aren't gonna obviously figure that stuff out anyway. But that's like a thing where it's very common for Japanese games to want to obscure the numbers under the hood, right? I don't know why, but that is absolutely a thing. And I've even seen some Japanese devs talk about that, like how it's a thing and it's kind of dumb and it's slowly dying. But like, you know, just frame data in fighting games is like a really good example because they're so hesitant to just even talk about it, let alone give out the information. Okay, so there is a archer here. So let's do a Roshinda Proto-coup. But no joke, if FGO didn't have as good as boss fights as it does, and if it wasn't the Fate IP, and it didn't have all these good artists and music and voice acting, I would have quit this game forever ago. Like, it's just, there's so much wrong with this game. And if it wasn't the Fate IP, I probably would have quit it too. Because even though the boss fights legitimately are good, they really are. Like they have I really enjoy doing challenge quests and main story boss fights. Like there's no copium there. It's fun, but there's other games that have good boss fights too, and I don't have to deal with all this other insanity, right? So the only reason I put up with the insanity is because the boss fights are good and it's the Fate IP, right? If it was missing either of those elements, though, I would definitely bail. And if it was because, like, if it didn't have good boss fights and it was the Fate IP, then I would bail, right? Then I'd absolutely bail. But if it didn't have the Fate IP, I might bail too. Which I hate to say that. I don't want that to be the case. I want them to get better. I want the game to be, you know, good. Like I definitely want it to be good, and I'm not expecting it to be perfect. I see people always say, "Oh, Green just wants the game to be perfect." No, I don't expect the game to be perfect. No game is perfect. There's plenty of everything I just talked about are things that are very easy to fix and are very reasonably expected to be fixed. You know, other things like I'm not going to complain to you know high heaven if like you know a boss is slightly undertuned or overtuned or you know things like that. You know, of course there's going to be mistakes. If the loading screens are a bit longer than they should be, that's okay. You know, and the UI doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it's so far from perfect. You know, I think it's just it's ridiculous to act like people complaining about the UI are being unreasonable. They're not being unreasonable. I mean this. I really mean this. I think the people that are being unreasonable are the people that defend it. Because when you look at it and how bad it is compared to everything else, even games from fucking 1990, you know, it's so bad that I think defending it is absurd. I really believe that. I think the people that act like there's nothing wrong with it and they think you're unreasonable when you criticize it, I think that's absurd. I think that's absolutely absurd. I think that's 1,000,000% copium. I think that's like a lot of it just comes from people that are like too attached to the game and they take criticism of the game as like an attack and shit like that. It's nonsense. Right, and if you like the game, that's totally fine. I like the game. I probably like this game more than most people. Why do you think I put up with it? And why do you think I've made these videos? I put so much time into my videos, and I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do it. I fucking love this game, even though it has just gaping holes in it, and it can be unbearably frustrating sometimes, but I want it to do better. That's why I talk about like how they should fix their story and have a better new player experience, and how they should have a safety net, and how they should fix their UI, because I think it would make the game succeed more, and they'd make even more money, and we'd have more players playing it. And I see people saying, oh, everyone's just being negative. The reason people are being negative is because the devs are being negative, because the devs aren't doing a good job. Right now, I'm not going to give individual blame. It's hard to say when it's Anaplex's fault or Type Moon's fault or the budget's fault, and like you have no idea, right? And fair enough. So I'm not going to blame any individual. I'm sure plenty of people that work on FGO want the game to be better, and you know, a lot of times their hands might be tied or there's just other issues in the way, and I understand that. But so I'm not trying to personally attack anyone that works on the game, but I want this game to be better, like very much so. I wish it was the best game out there, but it's pretty far from that right now. Okay, so this is not the stage that I thought it was, which is not good because I brought a terrible team for this. Well, I guess I Arash right now. Do I double charisma him? Then I won't give it to Protoku. How about that though? She's got a defense buff, and then Protoku has armor ignore. So on the one hand, if I buff Arash, she'll get pretty close to killing these doors. I think it's okay though if he doesn't kill them and he just kind of beats them up a little bit. I think that's totally fine. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I've played this game for like 5 years. And, you know, I've put a lot of time into it. And I've put so much effort into my videos and everything. So if anyone should be overly invested in the game, it's me, right? But I still have no problem with criticizing it, because it doesn't help anybody to put the blinders on. And you know, especially when it's not like I said, it's not like I don't think people are nitpicking. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think the game is being ran so badly that it's like impossible not. You have to be on some pretty strong copium to not see some of these problems. And honestly, like the account system and the new player experience are like at the top of the list for me. Those are like, something is just wrong, right? When you start if you actually make a new account and really think about it, what this is like to a new player, you know, doesn't already know what's down the road, and like you cannot expect someone to get through all the early stories, and then like the first event they're going to see is probably going to be some stupid like daily, you know, glorified daily thing, right? Like it's not good, right? It's so easy, and now like the supports you summon are so much stronger relative to the content than it was when that content was created. And you know how bad the storytelling is in the early stuff. Like the storytelling is much better, right? Later on, it's much better. Like Lost Belt 1, great. You know, a lot of they've really improved in that kind of stuff. Their pacing's gotten better. Their boss fights have gotten better. There's good content in FGO, but you're not going to see it for an incredible amount of time. And I don't think it's reasonable to think that like most players are going to sit around and like, oh yeah, the game's going to get better, so I'll keep playing it for like 80 hours and then enjoy it then, right? Most people are just going to quit. Like, of course most people are just going to quit. All right, let's see if I can, oh god, I did the speed thing. Let's see if I can get my NP in 3 turns. So the dream is like Ishtar does a quick attack on Ku. Or, you know, no one attacks Ku ever. So Ishtar doesn't go first. So I guess I'll do the invulnerability. Although I don't know if I really need to save David. Got these trumpets. Sadly, you cannot turn the speed thing off. And it's really weird because anything will activate it. Like if you try to, and because I do this all the time, and I figure a lot of people do, when I'm doing like a boss fight or something, when I have a skill animation going off, a lot of times that's when I'll switch targets, right? Like if it's a boss fight with multiple enemies and you want to switch targets, it's very common that I'll click it then, and then now that will actually make it, you know, do the speed up thing. Which, yeah, not big on that. Okay, nobody died. Oh, great. That's such... Oh, that's so bad, because Ku lost it. I guess I just cast this, even though it's got no effect on... But yeah, I don't want Ku getting blasted. I could kill the sabers. Okay, I'll kill a saber, and then I can target switch to Ishtar. Surely he's going to do 40k here. Hey Zashi, what's up? But it's like FGO just for years, they keep doing things like, you know, the speed up mode for like the card selection and all that, which maybe they changed that a while ago. This new speed up mode for the skills, the animation update for the mailbox, this laughable update for the command code system. You know, they just keep doing stuff like that instead of actually fixing things and actually making more significant changes. And that's why I'm not like impressed by the command code update. You know, people are like, oh, it's a step in the right direction. Not really, because that's all they ever do, right? It's like they keep doing these like sack of shit updates and they never actually fix it, right? They did like the widescreen update and it's terrible and they haven't, you know, touched it since, right? That's how everything FGO is like always, right? They're always doing like these half-assed, you know, just shitty updates that don't really fix anything, right? Like that's like always how they do it. So I don't have any expectations for them, you know, improving as time goes on. Okay. I guess I should just have David shoot Ishtar in the face. I probably could have had both Davids do that, actually. That would have been more worth it. Do that. Damage. What's my back row? Because if we do die, it might just be total garbage that won't do anything here. It's not particularly high damage, to be honest. She didn't even kill it neutral there. Although I guess David did have the defense up. Because she's got that NP down thing. Let's go, Tanky George. That was so meta of her. That's absolutely what I would have done if I was playing the AI. Oh, I think the music's looping. Excuse me. Man, David's getting a lot done here, even though he's not counterclassing the main enemy. I'll take it. Dude, I hope they add Maxwell's Demon. I don't think they will, though. I think if they do, it's going to be Redline related, or it's going to be like a rant when they add a bunch of bronzes at once or something like that. He's just so prominent in Redline that I think they're way more likely to use it for something like that. I think for this, they may add, you know, a servant that we've seen before. That could definitely happen. They've done it before. But I think it'd be more likely to be, what's that caster guy with the sunglasses? I forget his name. But like, he might be him, or, you know, I mean, there's so many that it could be. I think it'd be one of those, though. I think is a lot more likely than it being Maxwell's Demon. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be extremely happy to be wrong, because Maxwell's Demon is super high on my list of like known servants that I want to be playable. Well, Maxwell's not in Redline, but Maxwell's Demon is. They're probably not going to use Maxwell himself like ever. I think they would, I don't know, I could see him being almost any rarity. It makes sense for him to be silver or bronze, but a lot of things that shouldn't be silver or bronze are, and a lot of things that shouldn't be gold are. So a lot of it has to do with like what they feel like doing, and also what it's relative to, right? Like if Ash had been released at a different time, he might well have been a 5-star. Same for Canis, but you know, when they're relative to other things, you know, that can mess it up. So there's really no telling what rarity he's going to be. Maxwell's Demon is literally in Redline. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong. How you don't know this? Canis was significantly more important than the twins. That was just weird. And I've said that before. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, and it was so at odds with how they normally handle the game. I have no idea why Canis was a 4-star and the twins were 5 stars. Because she's more powerful than them lore-wise by a rather large amount. She's way more prominent in the story, and she's the final boss of the story, for God's sakes. Like, I don't get it. I have no idea. I have no idea. She's more popular than them, too. Not by loads. Neither of them are actually that popular. Yeah, they both sold kind of, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why she was a 4-star. I kind of feel like, because they had said that they had designed her a long time ago. They said they designed Canis like way back in the day. And I'm kind of guessing they had just decided she was going to be a 4-star way back then. And then as they actually got to like writing the Lost Belt stuff, she probably just became more prominent. And then they just didn't change the rarity. That really is my guess, because it really doesn't make sense otherwise. Well, I gotta summon something. David's actually a really good pick, but that's kind of dull, so we'll go with something else. Why not Diarmid? It's certainly not a carry, but he'll get buffed, right? Yeah, Maxwell's Demon's pretty bizarre, but they did wait, what? I'm looking at it, that's not the craft essence he has equipped. I guess it didn't save or something, I don't know. But, they did a pretty good job of representing what he was based on. And there's a lot of characters in Fate, never mind F-Go, just in Fate, that sometimes don't represent what they're based on very well, but, there's a lot that do, and he's definitely one that does, which is nice to see. You know what? I'll use the same team. I have faith. Yeah, basically, Maxwell's Demon is a thought experiment for unlimited, a way to break the second law of thermodynamics, and it doesn't work, but that's kind of the point. And they actually reflect that in his toolkit, which is kind of funny. Although it would work if, like, some, you know, beyond reality demon existed to do the thing, kind of, but, you know, that obviously doesn't exist, so. But yeah, it's basically a way to try to get around the second law of thermodynamics, but it don't work, and, basically, if he's summoned into an era where humanity has figured it out, one of his, like, abilities will be weaker. And if he's summoned in an era before they figured it out, it'll be stronger. However, apparently there's like something else where like he'd be even stronger, and his only way he could be properly summoned is if it's an era where humanity has figured out how to get around the second law of thermodynamics. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, he's basically a servant based on the concept of the thought experiment, like what the thought experiment is. And you might say that's really weird, and it is, but it's not any weirder than some of the other servants we have. You know, you have Kojiro, which I don't even know how to explain that in a sentence what he is. You know, you've got Pale Rider, is a concept. You know, it has a physical manifestation, but it's of a concept. There's several servants like that, so. Guess I just, a Rosh here. Yeah, you got Nursery Rhyme, a literal book, or series of books, really. A series of stories that can be put in a book. There we go. And man, Nursery Rhyme is old, like super old. Like she's from Fate Extra, which the original, and that's pretty early in the Fate like creation cycle, right? It went like Fate Stay Night, Fate Hollow, Fate Zero, and then like APOC was in the works and then got canned. And then I think of Fate Extra, And then maybe that's when they actually made APOC. I can't quite remember the timeline after that, but it's something like that. Yeah, Jack is obviously very different than being just a concept, but Jack is very weird. But the Jack that's based on Jack, though, is basically a concept, though. He's like the manifestation of the mystery of the murders, where APOC Jack's literally not Jack at all. Bunch of murder babies, for some reason. Oh, geez, I wonder which one of these Lancers is better. Please crit, at least once. Or twice, I'll take it. Dyrmid's pretty easy to buff. I mean, with some pretty minor stuff, he'd be a lot better because he's got a good baseline, it's just not enough oomph. He's got a hard survival skill. He's got an upgraded NP that's got actually a rather nice effect for a 3-star on it. That's good. That's all good. The issue comes with that's all he has. And now that's good enough to get the job done, right? If you need him to kill an archer boss, he absolutely can do that. But a lot of other units can do that and then do a lot more. And he can't, right? The only other time he's good is if like the boss is female and the you know, don't have like debuff immunity or something like that. But he's got okay damage and then hard survival. But the competition has also just gotten so fierce. His competition's a lot more fierce than it used to be. Because Ku's got an upgraded NP now, and Ku has an attack up, so it's like now he's got less damage than Ku. And now Proto Ku has got a upgraded NP as well, and he's got a damage up skill, although his isn't as good as Ku's, but still. Actually, Battery, for once, I think they should give him actually, really, I think Dyrmid should have a Battery, right? I've talked about giving him the hit count boost on his third skill, like Masashi. I think that's good too. I give him both. But the reason is, a lot of the other batteries they do are dumb because there's so many other servants like them that also have Battery, and they're just making the servants like too similar. But none of the low-star Lancers have Battery. Like, none of them. Like, the only one that does is Romulus, and he's AoE. So, like, that could be his thing, is where you need to get that NP on turn 1, especially if you're not working with Scatty or Waver or whatever. You'd be one of the only budget units for Lancers that could just get the damn NP, and then it's an upgraded one, and it has buff removal, and like that's pretty good, right? So actually, Battery, I think, makes a lot of sense. Between his passive, yeah, I guess kind of Gareth, but she's a 2-star, and she's way more about the taunt and that kind of thing. That's true, there is Gareth, but yeah, 2 stars, so not really the same thing. Like for example, there's been times where, you know, I'm wanting to use a strong like budget Lancer, and if they had Battery, I'm like, yeah, that'd be really good. And I don't use Gareth because she's not good enough. Because I want to use Gareth, I want to use her for the other stuff that she does, right? She's not going to be the I'm sorry to Gareth fans out there, but I think anyone worth their salt knows what I'm talking about. Gareth is not a good main DPS. Yes, you can grail her and 2k forward, it helps, but that's true for everyone. You know, she is no Ku, she's no Proto Ku even, right? She's way behind that stuff. She's way more about, she does some damage, like sure, and then but then she's got the taunt, and then she's got the you know, the defense down for the teammates and things like that. That's she's like a combo thing. She does a few things at once, but she's not like super excelling at any specific thing, right? She's kind of an odd unit like that, and she's good, and I like that. I actually like the way she plays, but she's not like, you're not going to build a team that it's like, oh yeah, Gareth is the one DPS and everything else supports her, and like that's not, like you can, but it's so behind. Like what you, even if she has a Battery, it's going to be behind like Ku or Proto Ku and stuff like that. Yeah, we got that. I guess we have to try really hard to keep Dyrmid alive here. Man, this is a beast, and I already used this for just the Star Absorb. What have I done? Do I wait 3 turns? If I wait 3 turns, Proto Ku will absolutely kill it. Can Dyrmid live 3 turns? I don't know. Yeah, that last turn is probably gonna get him. We'll see. If only I had upgraded Protoku's third skill, it'd be back by now, or back next turn. See, the smart thing to do is to give the invulnerability to Protoku, because then I win the stage no matter what. Because he's safe there, and then he does his PFA, and then he NPs with the anti-beast. But out of pride, I'm going to try to keep Dyrmid alive. I think I'm going to really regret this. Like, if Protoku dies this turn, we probably lose the stage. Well, actually, our back rows might clean up, but Dyrmid will definitely die. Dyrmid's only chance of survival is Protoku killing this thing. Well, we're dead. Like, I barely killed him. Like, it just barely fucking killed him. That was the only chance for Dyrmid to live, was Protoku killing it. I should have at least NP'd it, but too late now. Let's see if we can still miraculously pull out a win here. And we might not be able to. This back row is pretty shit. That's pretty frustrating. That's what I get for trying to make Dyrmid work. Hey Pete, thank you for the 100 bits. I don't want that in Nefgo at all. This is something I really gotta rant about, because people seem to think I like that kind of content. I hate that kind of content, and I think it's like the worst way to do challenging content. Now, by all means, if they want to make, like, you know, Mario, what's the game, Mario Maker or whatever, if they want to do that, that's fine. That's completely different. But every time games do, like, Arknights has an event right now where you've got a stage and it has like 1 million augments you can turn on to make it harder. Like, oh, you can't bring tanks, or your tanks cost way more, or your defense is reduced. Stuff like that. I hate content like that. It's so lazy, it's awful, and it just incentivizes whaling. Because that's what Genshin does for their hard content, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I don't want to play FGO, but I can't bring Lancers, right? I don't want to play FGO, but your health is halved. That's stupid. Just make, if you want to make a hard bit of content, just make the boss harder. Right? Like, it's not fun to be like, you can't use your NPs, right? Like, that's not fun. You're just taking options away. That means you have less decisions to make, and then you're having to stat check it harder. Like, that Arknights event, the more toggles you turn on, the more of a stat check it is, right? It gets to the point where no matter how skilled you are with, like, low stars, it becomes completely impossible, right? And you're only going to beat it with strong arming it. And Genshin is the exact same way. Every time Genshin does their stupid toggle thing, all people want to see is you turn on every single toggle, and then the only way to do that is strong arming the shit out of it. That's not good gameplay, right? Good gameplay is designing a good boss with interesting abilities or a good move set, and that's how you make good hard content, right? And it's like the go-to thing for a lot of games these days, and the reason they do that is because it's easy. It's easy to make content like that. And it's hard to design a handcrafted difficult stage, right? It takes a lot of effort to do that. Yeah, I'm so not a fan of that, and I do not want to see that in FGO, because every time I see it in Arknights or Genshin Impact, I just roll my eyes, and I never enjoy it, and I keep seeing it more and more often in other video games. So if it pops into FGO, I'm not gonna be happy about that. Like, just design a better stage. Like, dear God. It's like, how is a boss fight, like, how would Fluffy be funner if you just couldn't bring assassins? Right, like, what if your favorite character is an assassin? Right, like, how is that funner? Right, like, you literally just have less options now. So we died to a giant boar. Yeah, Genshin has some interesting bosses with interesting movesets and stuff, but the game is more about number crunching, because like, even the bosses with intricate, nuanced movesets, you can just face tank everything they do if you have high enough stats. And you can use barriers and shields, and you can stat up your characters so your barrier and shields are so strong and stuff like that. Like, it's not great, right? I'm not a fan. And it really sucks, because like, there's some good stuff in Genshin, but I think it's lost because of all the stat side of it. Like, if you're overstatting something, then you can ignore the boss gimmicks. And then if you're understatting it, you basically can't win. So it's not fun. Now, I don't mind, like, a certain extent of like optional difficulty. Like where Hard Knights does it outside of their events is fine, right? You beat a boss fight in the main story, and it's completely designed to be beaten that way, and it's, you know, perfectly challenging. And then if you do a challenge mode, they add like one thing, like the enemies have more health, or the enemies move faster, or you can't put units in this part of the map, or whatever. And that I don't mind, because it's only one gimmick that you just have to respect one time for that one stage. And sometimes it's a lot of them are handcrafted, because it's not like a blanket thing. It's not where they pick like 9 toggles that can apply to any stage. They picked a thing for that stage, so it normally fits pretty well. And if you don't like it or think it's dumb or you can't use your favorite unit, you can just do the normal version. And the normal version is still perfectly hard. Like the enraged guy's not losing HP, and as annoying as that is, that's handcrafted, right? That's specific to the stage. It's not like, oh, all enemies have 40% higher attack, right? That's garbage, right? So yeah, when those challenge stages I don't mind too much, but like that event they've got going on right now, you just toggle a bunch of stuff, I don't care for it. And like the limited one, the stage you can only do for like 2 days, I got the max thing on it, but it's dumb, right? It's not fun. It's not half as fun as like OD8 was, and you have to strong arm it way more, and it's like, the base stage is like, and it's sometimes designed in an interesting way, but then as you turn the toggles on, it just becomes a giant stat check. It just becomes a giant fucking stat check. You know, that's not like, oh wow, look how interesting this is. Like it's crazy, because people are constantly like DMing me and adding me on Discord when events like that happen in other games. Like, oh, you're gonna like this event. It's like, not at all. Like, generally, it's quite the opposite. Okay, I'm gonna Arash the next wave, and that should fix the Protoku thing. Also just gonna evade right now, because it might come back by the time I need it at the end. The shield meta in Genshin is so bad. It's like, you're literally rewarded for not dodging, because if you dodge, it takes time, and you know, you're not swinging. If you're dodging, you're not hitting the enemy. Where you put a shield up and just phase tank the damage, you're not losing any time, right? And you just keep going. And they can have like a really hard to deal with attack with like a really crazy hitbox, or like a 1-2 hit that's kind of tricky. And if you have a shield, you don't care, and you just stand there. Please don't kill Arash before we get to the boss, or the second wave, excuse me. I need that. It really makes me sad, because some of the movesets in Genshin, like Child's moveset is pretty interesting. If you do fight Child with like really low stats, there's some really interesting stuff in that fight, with like how his counter works, and you have to actually respect his moveset. Some of it's actually tricky and pretty interesting. And same for like that big rock dragon, not the super fat one, but the other one, the first one that came out. Like, it's easy to strong arm him, but his moveset's pretty interesting. And that's true for quite a few of the bosses they've made. But yeah, it's become such a stat thing now that I've kind of lost interest in that game, which sucks, because I don't want to hate it, but they've made a lot of bad decisions. At least their UI is good, and they have a safety net, all that kind of stuff. I still think they do well in that department. Their business model is really good. Every time I do the speed thing, I am sad. I probably should have done charisma there. I think I'm overestimating the boar. Hopefully that defense up doesn't... Okay, if David didn't kill there, we might have had a problem. Okay, the only bad thing here is Protoku hasn't had any time to get his NP. But it should be alright. This hand is not. I almost want to do the anti-beast thing now and then do Atlas. Boy, I should have brought default, not Atlas. The attack up and the heal would be much better. Do I try to keep Dyrmid alive out of... Yeah, I think I can do it. So I had to wait the maximum amount of time to get Protoku's art card. Oh, or David could just kill it, excuse me. Why did I do any of that if David could just do that much damage? Well, Protoku just there to be a distraction. I mean, I think the answer to why it took him so long to make a 5-star Ember daily quest is it took them 3 years to make the slightest change to the command code UI, so... Yeah, at least Dyrmid lived. Oh! Remember that UI thing? All that UI talk we just had? And I swear, I need to make a YouTube video of that, more condensed and, you know, reasonable. But, you know, I think that was some very fair and objective criticism. But here's another one, right? Why can't I click this? Like the UI board exists, because if I click this one, then I can go to this. So why can't I go to this screen from any of these other tabs? Like, I can't do it from this one, I can't do it from this one, and I can't... Why? Like that's... Why? It's like a relic of the past they just haven't bothered to change. That's significantly less egregious than what we talked about earlier, though. My god, that team screen comparison, though, was pretty funny. When I was actually doing it there, I realized how... It was dumber than I even thought. When I literally saw them side by side like that, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Especially when FGO has a way to, like, you know, highlight a unit just like Arknights does. And it's like the same UI, except the FGO one, you can't do anything, right? And where the Arknights one, you can do everything. Man, I know a lot of indie devs that put DW to shame. What do I give her? I have no idea what we're fighting. What's her bond? Can you imagine though if we could go to this screen and then just upgrade their skills right here, change their command codes, like that? It'd be so nice. Big time saver. Also, that's how the Babylonia guards are supposed to look like, and in the anime they made them Roman. I couldn't fucking believe that, dude. It's like they used the Romans like as an in-game sprite because they didn't have a sprite to match their story sprite. Oh, this is just like a preview fight. I don't think this is the real one. The real one, you got the fancy background. I think you have to last until she NPs or something. So obviously I'm NP draining her. I'm not. I'm just kidding. One of these days. I wish I had Mozart like ready to go on this account, but I don't think I've leveled him. I bet you Hercules can solo the hard mode version of her fight now. Actually, he might have been able to do that before, but he definitely can do it now. I should not have done that evade because now I'm like incentivized not to do her second skill, but she's got 2 art cards. I'll just pretend the art up didn't land. I kind of want to use Mori for the real boss fight, even though I didn't want to use Grailed low stars until I beat 1.0. It's a fun fight to mess around with, so I kind of want to take the opportunity while I've got it. And I'm kind of curious if my garbage account, that is this account, is able to work with Mori. And I don't think so, actually. So maybe I don't do that. I don't think it can. Because it doesn't have Anniversary Blonde, it doesn't have Shingon, it doesn't have Mozart, it doesn't have a Star Bomb CE. Like, what the hell is it gonna do? Might look weird doing this for 1 skill, but the fight's gonna end any second here. Yeah, Mori synergizes with a lot of budget stuff, but not like out of the box, right? You're not gonna like make an account day 1 and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to work with Mori. How has 100 Face not gotten hit? It sucks because she'd have her NP right now if she had. And I could cast the evade. Stupid speed mode, man. My eyes! Doing everything I can to get 100 Face NP gain and it's not working out. Alright, buff removal. That's the thing. Let's see, who else doesn't have an alignment that's good or evil or neutral? Let's see, Lancelot, Hercules, Nero Bride, Mori. A lot of the Summer Servants. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else it'd be fun to mess around with. I don't like Nero Bride very much, although she is very good there. Yeah, quite a few Summer units. This is why I wish we had story replay, because I could just come back to it later when I do have like Mozart leveled or I have Anniversary Blonde. I could get Anniversary Blonde, I just have to burn some stuff that I'm kind of on the fence about burning. I mean, technically I really shouldn't be on the fence about it because this account is not going to use Hercules because I have Hercules on the Herc account and stuff like that. But I like Hercules, so I don't want to burn him. But yeah, there's quite a few things here I could burn and get enough rare prisms. I don't think we fight her right now. I think you fight her like by like a temple or whatever out there. This is where I would use Darius, but I grailed him. I might start using some grailed units just because we're farther in the story, and just, I want to use them. It's not about them being grailed, it's like, there's just all these units that I like that I have grailed, so I was gonna take the restrictions off when we got to 2.0, but I might just start using whatever now to spice things up a bit. Could do Brunhilde, don't use her much. Good Atalante. Let's use Pence, there we go. That's a unit I haven't used on stream in any significant way in some time. Did I get her passive? I did. I have not leveled it, but she has it. I'm not sure there's any prominent saber fights here for Billy. Although you could use them for Corrupted Ushi, honestly. You could just delete one of them. Well, I don't know what classes we're fighting here. Surely one of these will be effective. I don't even know what that is, Rabbit. Do I taunt now? Might as well. Oh, Blob Nom. I mean, we already have it, though. Wait, is it dead? Oh, I'm thinking Blob Dance. Yeah, we don't have Blob Nom, right? The bite one. I don't know if we have the slots for it. That's the only issue, really. I mean, right now I've got like 25 slots available, but there's like a million things people want added, so I'm not really sure what to go with. But we'll see. People use it a lot, so maybe. Pin's animations still really hold up. Like, they're really good. I'm going to edit a combo. I'm gonna make a video for like my favorite animations in the game. So like Caligula, Lancelot, and all that stuff. And Pinth will probably be in it. I'm gonna edit it so she can do a chain that's longer than you should be able to do. Because if you reset the app on the same enemy, you can do it pretty seamlessly if you take the time to like do it frame by frame. And you can make it look completely right. So I can get her to do like Buster, Art, Buster, Buster, Extra. Because that looks awesome, so I'll probably do that. But her Art Buster Buster looks like really cool. So it's basically that with the extra Buster at the start. Harry Potter MC. Yeah, you actually use it for like Lancelot and stuff, so it makes it easier to level. I've never had a reason to use it practically under any circumstance ever, so mine's like level 2. I like how Pinth still has the evade from turn 1. Alright, Pinth, do 110k. You have 3 buffs. I think you're NP4. $146, not bad. That one's dead too. Good turn, good turn. I don't think this is gonna kill. I'm a liar. It barely killed, but it did indeed. Underestimating the rage ball. Yeah, adult Pint is pretty cool. Too bad they're never gonna add it into the game, because these suck. And if they do, if they ever added an alternate version of Pent, they wouldn't add the like normal proper adult version that we saw. They'll find some bullshit reason to, you know, super change her. We're only on chapter 12. What to use here? If I see a Grail Geronimo, I'm picking that in a heartbeat. Those are pretty rare, unfortunately. What's a caster DPS we don't see very often? I mean, there's Ungrail Geronimo. We use Babbage a lot. We could use okay, we'll use Casterku because some people probably haven't seen his animation update and whatnot. And he's got his buff. Do his little double NP sometimes. We could do Qingong. Boy, we need to level a like Caesar or Bedivere. That needs to happen. Bringing them just for the bond. What could go wrong? I don't think we're gonna see more Odin, unfortunately. At least not anytime soon. Feel like we're not gonna see any more of him or Ku for the rest of 2.0, but maybe we see a little bit more Odin at the end. Yeah, it is weird that in rare instances, Proto-Ku's buff can actually be a bad thing, but it's rarer for that to happen than it is for Artoria. Like Artoria's hers is still overall a net gain, but there are definite drawbacks. Where with Caster Ku, it's pretty rare that it's a problem, but it does happen. Like sometimes the way the boss fight is, all you need is the debuff clear, and like the whole sacrifice thing is bad. It's good for farming though. Lets you double NP very easily. So if you're especially on an assassin wave, it's very easy for him to clear 2 waves on his own. Just boom boom, right? And that can be really good. Yeah, that's, I'd agree roughly. Artorias is a side grade that's better like 70% of the time. Yeah, that's about right. Caster Ku, it's like, it's better like 95% of the time, or maybe 90. Maybe I'm being a little extreme there, but it's rare that it's a drawback. I'm gonna be sad if the final enemy is a Lancer. It's gonna make it hard to show off Caster Ku then. Trying to get Siegfried's NP here. The Kiyohime buff is a 100% net gain. It's just such a tiny, minor net gain that might as well not exist. What's better? Brave Chain? Yeah, probably the Brave Chain. Come on, throw an assassin at me. You show off the goods here. That's an assassin, right? She's like stealthy in the jungle. She like, you know, she's jumping behind trees and stuff, guys. Totally an assassin. Should have brought George in the front and turned her into a dragon, because then we would have just deleted her. Man, that means I need to buff Siegfried instead of Casterku. Man, I really should have brought George then. We're missing out on a lot of damage here. Well, I'll use Ku to overcharge Wait, no. There's no point in doing... Well, no, I get the defense down. But yeah, the overcharge is more anti-dragon damage, which we don't need. Yeah, I'm very surprised they haven't buffed Kiyohime again because she's so popular. I mean, she's niche. It's not like she's some super crazy popular. There's a lot of people that don't like her, but she does have her dedicated fan club. We would have about killed there if she was a dragon, if not actually killed. Well... Might as well. It's not that much damage, but I'll take it. Give him the branches. $43k at neutral. That's pretty good. Didn't have Qingong's buff or anything. Can you stop casting that? Well, rip Qingong. Kind of a slow turn here. Surprised she's doing that much damage when he had all those mash buffs. Jeez. Calm down, lady. That'd probably make her hit us harder, to be honest. No, what'd make her really mad is if you said, calm down, tiger. That's what'll... That'll get you killed. You know, I wonder if anybody started playing FGO day one and was like, man, Taiga's my favorite character from Fate. I hope she gets added someday. And then, because day one, they didn't really do fan service like that, right? So you wouldn't have much reason to have like faith in that happening. But it happened. So that for the 3 guys out there that felt that way, they must have been really happy. Yeah, there probably are some. I mean, she's always had a following, so stands to reason. I really should taunt with Mash, actually. Just do the other invulnerability for the NP gain, but I don't even need it. I mean, hell, she's probably dead right now. Saber Gilius will get an animation update. All the old people will. It'll just matter of time. They said like 3 years ago now that... Oh my god, I remember there was an interview where they were like, yeah, within a year we want all the old Day 1 characters to have animation updates. But they said they'd try. They even kind of worded it where they didn't... They kind of worded it where they didn't want to set the expectation, right? They're like, yeah, we're probably not going to get all of them done. Yeah, they weren't even close. They weren't even... Not in the ballpark. That is a lot of classes. Is this what your college is like, Cairo? Just class after class? We could do our show off our Grail Darius. Proud of my boy. I think there's, I mean, there's someone out there. Someone asked, is there anyone you're hoping to see an animation update for? I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there for every servant, right? Yeah, we could use Beowulf. We'll do Darius. I feel like I use Beowulf a decent amount on stream. But yeah, I think everybody has their couple of servants that they're really wanting to get animation updates. For me personally, though, it's like Sanson, Leonidas, Ku, Billy, Darius, Jekyll and Hyde. Those are the big ones for me. Shakespeare and Mozart are really up there too. Oh, and Proto-Ku. My god, Proto-Ku. I don't think Baldy really needs it. I mean, yeah, he's got a couple of repetitive animations, but I mean, he is just so far ahead of everybody, and his NP is still... I think he's aged really well. Like, I think it's pretty good. It's only one repeated animation, and it's like, it looks cool anyway, so it's not that bad. Like, when you compare it to Proto-Ku or, you know, the Day 1 people, the difference is massive, and his sprite looks fine. I guess what you're probably asking for, though, and this is probably fair enough, is when they, like, just twink it, where they just, like, replace the repeat animations, right, and they, like, maybe change the particle effects, they don't do anything big, because I think, Cairo, you're reasonable enough to be like, yeah, he doesn't need a sprite update, his sprite is fine. But yeah, Billy, Sanson, Proto-Ku, Jekyll and Hyde, Leonidas, Darius, Ku. That's the big ones for me. Canis is so sad, dude. She's such a new unit compared to like the majority of the cast, and her animations suck. I cannot think of another unit as recent as her, or even many that are older than her, like in that whole, anything in that era, that are that bad. Like, they generally don't fuck up new servants. When they fuck up, it's normally animation updates like Boudica or something where they just kind of phone it in. But like brand new golds, they pretty much never fuck that up. But Canis just sucks. And it sucks. I like Canis as a character. Okay, yeah, but that's a welfare. Welfares are kind of in the same boat as animation updates for old characters. Like they treat them the same way. It's very obvious they treat them the same way. But yeah, for brand new stuff that you have to roll on so they can make money, she's scarily close to Day 1, right? She's obviously better than that, but her Buster really isn't. Like, I like some of Canis's animations, right? Like the quick where she's like, you know, smack, smack, stomp, right? That's fine. Her extra's fine. Her long range art is fine, although you hardly ever will see it. Like, there's a few good ones, but what you don't use them much, right? You don't actually do art quick on Canis very often, right? You're normally gonna do like Buster art Buster, which is dog shit. Like, her Buster is so bad. It's a 3-hit Buster, and she just leap in smack like you did Day 1, right? It's literally a Day 1 Buster animation. And I've shown this before. If you look at, Canis is a 4-star, right? Canis is a 4-star. Lancelot is a 4-star, right? They're both 4-stars. They both have 3-hit Buster attacks. They both leap in with their Buster attack, right? But then Lancelot just does the generic leap in smack, but then he does 2 other smacks, right? Some just good old-fashioned melee, cut, smack, smack. He's not doing backflips or anything like that. Like he's saying, you know, You know, it fits him to be more efficient, right? And same for Canis. But Canis just does the leap and that's it. All 3 hits happen at the same time, right? It's so much worse. I don't need Canis doing backflips or, you know, any crazy, you know, nonsense. But they just completely wasted her hit count, and then her sprite just is kind of awkward in comparison to a lot of the other ones. And like, yeah, I think Lancelot's a good comparison because Lancelot also is pretty meat and potatoes. You know, you're not expecting, you know, a lot of fanfare, but his just look way better, right? He's hitting them, right? And she just hits them a lot less. And then she's got all like water attacks, like with the laser shot and everything. It's just, it's not great. She doesn't have the worst animations ever. And like I said, a few of them are good. I do like the quick and the long range art one, but like the close range art one's really boring, and then her busters are all bad. And that's all you really see of her generally is her buster attacks. And I think her busters are really bad. Like, Lancelot is basically the same type of unit as her, but way better, right? Like, they're pretty similar, and he's just so far ahead. Do that. Yeah, that would be cool if Lancelot's particle effects were purple in stage 1. If he was made brand new, they probably would have done that, honestly. And I think part of why they didn't is not really them being lazy. It's that they know some people wouldn't like that. Like, because people are... You can see this. I've noticed this over the years so clearly. When they do animation updates, they try to make sure they're not taking away something people liked, and it kind of traps them sometimes. Like Lancelot Berserker, right? It's kind of stupid that if they're going to add the jet to it, he shouldn't be doing the Gatling gun like he used to. But the only reason they do that is because that's what his original NP was, and so they had to try to work that in on top of, you know, the jet, which just looks stupid. And they just did that because they wanted it to be the old NP plus, right? And I think the same thing for Lancelot. Some people might have liked the blue and liked stage 1, and they don't want it to be purple now. But like, if you look at a lot of new servants that aren't not being updated like that, a lot of times their colors will change based on their ascension. So I'm sure they know how to do it, and I'm sure they would have been willing to do it if he wasn't added until Lost Belt 6, then they probably would have done it. But yeah, I think they just didn't want to take it away from people that liked it. But that's where you can always just make it optional, and that's not even hard to do. You can have a little... They really just need a tab in the servant profile screen for optional stuff like that. Like Musashi's old NP animation, things like that. We can just pick stuff like that. Because if the files are already in the game, you might as well give people access to it. Kill the assassin first, because he gets his NP quick. I honestly don't. I like Berserker Lancelot's NP until he starts shooting the Gatling gun while on top of the jet. That's just dumb, and it's so forced. It's so fucking stupid. Like I'm telling you, it only exists because of his original NP. If he'd been made from the ground up, it never would have been like that. But now they've set a precedent, so. Like, why would you not use the functioning Gatling gun? Or really it's just a machine gun, but inside of the jet itself, because he already's using it that way. And the only reason he did it in the story was because the jet got destroyed, but it doesn't get destroyed in the game. So it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, it'd be nice if they had some optional NP lines, because they take them out sometimes. Not always, only sometimes, so they're pretty inconsistent with that. I don't really need to do the buster resistance down, but it's not a bad time to put up guts. Could just NP right now. I think I'm gonna regret this, but why not? Yeah, but Arcade copies FGO, like with their designs. Like I said, these set the precedent for it. And so like it's gonna be like that from now on, really. Actually, let's see if that kills. Damn, he didn't crit with anything. He had crit, he probably would have killed and gotten his NP. Could have attacked the Lancer and killed it, but I figured keep the Lancer alive because it gets his NP slower and it does less damage to Siegfried. I want to keep Qingong alive. Well, my invulnerability was completely wasted there. They might kill this. I wish we had a Buster card on either of the damage dealers. Easy crit. Yeah, Lancelot does do bonus damage to dragons, lore-wise, but it's not a thing in game. Well, I could have saved Darius's guts, although it's about to be back. Kinda nice how the timing works like that for him. Well, Saber Lancelot for the longest time used to be just one of the best sabers in the game. So for like the first like chunk of FGO's life, he wasn't even on the table. I think just now he's on the table because on accident, they accidentally made a bunch of sabers stronger than him. So he'll probably get buffed now, but it might be a minute. That was really unlucky. Like next turn I got guts and they just smacked him like that. The damage cut's gonna wreck us. Waver, why you gotta be like this? Guys, can you believe they cut this fight from the anime? This is such riveting content. There's so much content like this in Lost Belt 6, where it's just so meaningless. Remember Shadow Waver? Guys, remember that? Oh man, I might have to cut today's stream a bit short. I can keep going for a bit, but I'm kind of under the weather. I got my shots today and the up the dosage, so I'm kind of sniffly and all that. It's kind of hard to breathe, so I don't feel that bad. It's mainly just, you know, a bit of symptoms that are kind of inconvenient. I just find if I can't breathe through my nose very well, it is really hard to stream because I need to breathe through my mouth and then, you know, talking. There's a conflict of interest here. But we'll keep going for a bit. I'm not... chat trying to send Old Man Green off to bed. It's not that bad, guys. Chat just wants to get rid of me so they can party. That's what's going on. Sure, Grandpa. Alright, let's go. Alright, we'll use Summer Canis. We were just talking about Canis. I don't know if Summer Canis has... I mean, her animations have some similar issues, but they're probably a little bit better. I don't know. I like the harpoon throw with the chain. That's kind of cool. See, I'd give her command codes, but it takes an hour and a half to do it, so I'm just not gonna do that. Bit of rush. I wish I had K-scope for a rush instead of cope scope. So there's gonna be water here, right? If Cairo is streaming later, we'll raid him. That could happen. Alright, 2 waves, 9 though? I guess I go boom now anyway. Nope. Look at him just being shutting that right down. Maybe Gooba 6 will give us free CE that gives 80% NP at ML. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Star Bomb though, that's what I'd like for the Stheno account. Break chain time. Let's see her long range buster. I kind of forgot. I mean, not amazing, but definitely better than regular Canis, because you get the Sea Serpent going into. I like how she's just like constantly hanging out with a Sea Serpent and they don't even tell you its name. Like even in her Bond CE, they don't, it's just Sea Serpent. She could NP right now. If I, yeah, okay. Does she get the divinity bonus? How about that? Bob the Sea Serpent. 78k at neutral. Without her niche. Without her buffs too, actually. Okay, could she... Why is she dying so fast, right? She's getting destroyed over here. David hasn't even lost the evade. Gotta use my guts now. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. Does it count as Seaside because of this? To like stream? Well, I'm pretty sure it does. If I had known that, I would have cast that a while ago. That is funny. I guess it's just any water has to be nearby. I wonder if there's any stages that have like a puddle in the background, but that doesn't count. Game! Why is it always a crit and why is it Canis all the time? Okay, so not looking good for keeping her out of the ditch here. Bad time for the Star Bomb, but did she do 51k here? I'm being awfully optimistic. It's okay, Stheno got her back. See, that attack's pretty cool. Hey, Bull. Oh, 87%. What a shame. Their buffs are gonna go away. If I could NP right now, it'd be so good. Probably fuck it up next turn anyway. Yeah, imagine like you have Canis like fighting with a master, and the master just like throws a water bottle. It's like, there you go, and there's the water. He got it. Go get him, champ. This will probably kill. We have the Buster up and the defense down. It's good enough. I can't believe you've wasted $160 screen. Wait, what did I do? What? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, Vol. I was like, what? Like, I don't think anything's gone on here that has anything to do with that. Kiddie pool, at least. Jet Kita, maybe? That's something different. Why do I even have her slotted? Is she an event servant or something? Actually, she might be, because Okita. Now, I should absolutely give her the anti-stun command code, and there's 2 of them now, right? So I could have one on her permanently, and then another one for, like, you know, swapping at the right time. Oh wait, we can go with Losts, because I bet you his is, yeah, he's already got it. But yeah, there's 2 anti-stun command codes now, so there's, like, not much of an excuse. You know, I would probably wail for the Green Knight if he was added when I had absolutely no SQ and he was limited, right? That would probably get me to wail. But the thing is, I'm pretty good at not hitting 0 SQ, so that stuff like that doesn't happen. Also, let's be honest, the Green Knight is probably not going to be a 5-star, so he's probably not going to be if he was added, he'd probably be a 3-star. I really, it may be a 4-star depending on context, but he wouldn't be that hard to get anyway. Although, I don't know, 4 stars can be pretty cursed. I'm kind of lucky like that, where there's a few 5 stars I really want, but there's only a few, so I just save up for them. And then everything else is generally low stars, so works out rather smoothly. Imagine though, if like you had a variety of servants between 3-star and 4 and 5-star, right? So all that, and you know, they did good designs that I liked, and they did like Butch Cassidy, Green Knight, Henry V, Saber Kojiro, you know, they regular Van Gogh, right? They just kept like doing that stuff like back to back. That would be a problem, right? That would be a problem. That's never gonna happen though. Wasn't able to save up, feels bad. Alright, we actually have Kojiro on this account. 111 though. I mean, Okita should be able to deal with this. I almost gave George Formal Craft because it's Ren. Basically the same CE, right? Oh god, wait, is this the boss? If this is the yeah, that fuck. I gotta just reset. I gotta change the team like entirely. I didn't realize we were on that. Actually, I don't know what Akita's alignment is, but maybe she could do enough damage here. But yeah, we want to bring an actual team for this. I really do wish we had stuff to use Mori, because I think Mori would just destroy this. I mean, it's not hard or easy mode. It's like the fight barely even changes. And like a lot of people are gonna struggle with either one. Like they don't give you an easy mode option for that fight. Yeah, if your summer alignment, they don't it depends on some summers though have like summer good or whatever, and those still get it. But there's some that don't work that way. I hear we'll look. Let's see what she is. If she is one of those weird alignments though, then she'd actually be really good in that fight. And maybe we'll show that off just for the lulz. She's neutral summer. I think that doesn't work. I'm pretty sure neutral gets smacked. I think isn't it like evil and neutral do like no. It's neutral and good don't do anything, and then evil does half, and then if you're none of them, you do normal damage, I think. Mori is so good for this fight though, but I just don't think this account could possibly support Mori. I mean, if I had a Star Bomb CE or Anniversary Blonde, I would be good, but we don't have either. I might try it anyway because I really like Mori, and it'll be kind of interesting to see if this account can somehow make it work, but I kind of doubt it. Let me, I'll set him up proper here. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not that hard of a fight these days. I mean, 600k, it's not that bad. There's just, Mori must crit, right? That Mori is not a very good unit if he's not critting. Everything about him is about getting crazy big crits. And he's also really good with Mozart because of that, and he has 2 art cards to work with the art up. And I didn't level Mozart on this account. This is actually one of the first accounts I played through the game with where I haven't leveled Mozart. And I'm kind of regretting it. Hercules is so busted in this fight. Now, if you're a proper new account and you want to do this fight and not summon a support to carry you, 100 Face is like the best pick. Unless you have Mori, but if you're a new account, you won't have him. Even though 100 Face does half damage, if you do like the 400k version, yeah, half damage, it's still a lot of health to get through, but 100 Face can hack it because 100 Face is ridiculous. And if you want to cheese it with a support to carry you, then you just pick Hercules. So if you don't pick a support to carry you, 100 Face. If you pick a support to carry you, Herc. But where the hell is, there we go. I couldn't find my command codes, man. Okay, well, our odds of critting are terrible, so I'm gonna give Mori a Star Absorb command code because we desperate. I don't remember if she's a servant here or not. She probably is, so I will give him the anti-servant one. Herc can solo either fight with her. Doesn't really make a difference. We'll go, I guess, crit damage on art card. Alright. Should be good. It didn't update my CE. Hold on. Believe it or not, chat, that is not a particularly good CE for what we were doing right now. There we go. Alright, what can this account do for Mori? Not a lot. It has so, I mean, look at this. Like, if it had Anniversary Blonde, it would be totally fine. That's the one turn of crits that you need. How the hell am I gonna make stars? There's Hans, because this account doesn't have Star Bomb. It doesn't have, maybe, did I get spooked by like 2030 or something? So that would be an option. Nope. I'm so tempted to burn all those golds that I'm probably not going to use and just buy Anniversary Blonde. Although it'd be level 1 and it'd only make 10 stars. Okay, let's see. I'd like to use Qingong, but I'm not sure that's going to work. There's no way for this account to make stars, dude. What the hell? Because yeah, Hans doesn't even. This is not gonna work. There's just no way. You can't enable Mori if you have nothing that makes stars. Because Hans's third skill is not leveled, so it won't make enough stars either. I mean, you could like one turner if you got a good opening, but I don't see that happening. I could bring Stheno and hope she gets a quick chain. That's awfully desperate. That's how you were supposed to crit back in the day. God, if I had anything that made stars, this would be fine. That does not work, Vol. I mean, if you had a Grailed, Jin-K, you could still kind of make it work, because it's not that bad of a fight ultimately. But like, if this account summoned Jin-K, it would lose so hard. Do I have any? Unironically, I need Starjin on Stheno because of what I can't believe I'm doing this. Who does this? Literally, who does this? But I would rather use Quick Up, but I don't have a good Quick Up CE right now. I so wish I had Anniversary Blonde, dude. That would, or 2030. Like 2030 and Hans would probably be enough. There's no way this is such a doomed to fail strategy. I could do the switch. I could switch Mr. Code and put in Kojiro with his tiny star bomb. That's a thing. Let me go look at my skill ranks, see if there's anything I can level that'll help here. Imagine if this was like Arknights and you could just level your stuff from the team screen UI. Yeah, I can level that, which is actually good. But I should probably level Hans's third skill instead if I can, which I don't think I can. Like, I don't know if I can do Kojiro's skill because I've been giving all of our gems to Stheno. Dude, every time I hear this song now, I think of the Kojiro video I made because I listened to this song a lot while like syncing things up and everything for that video, so like I can hear like that infomercial about the blender every time I hear this song now. It's kind of dumb. Yeah, I don't even have what I need to get Kojiro's second skill up to make more stars. I might do it anyway. I think it makes like 5 stars by base. Oh, God. Good old Paper Mario, man. I could give Mori 2030, right? That's about the only thing I can think of. It's either that or I give Mori Golden Carp and I try to do it on turn 1. Which, if I got a good opening hand, might work, but that's not even remotely reliable. This just doesn't work. I mean, you have to have some kind of star gen, which is stupid because it's not hard for a budget account to make stars. It's not, right? You've got Mozart, you got Anniversary Blonde, you know, eventually Hans and things like that. You got plenty, but this account doesn't have any of this stuff. I think we just have to get a really lucky turn with Stheno. This is going to be a great example of why the way they originally designed Quick doesn't work. Because not only do I have to get lucky and get Quick cards with Stheno, I have to then proceed that with getting Mori cards the next turn. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, right? You know, Leonidas actually is not a bad idea. The problem is this account didn't level Leonidas, so... But that's another way that budget... Because this account's barely leveled anything, but that is another way that budget can get stars. And you don't need to CS them, you can just cope scope, right? No problem. Because Mori's got Star Absorb, it just... if I don't have any stars, that's not going to mean anything. Alright, hold up. Let's see if this account has any command codes to give Stheno. Holy crap, I'm getting such a headache right now. Feels bad. I don't even know why. Just all of a sudden I'm starting to get blasted. I think it's because I'm not breathing enough. What am I doing? Right. Command codes. I could not tell you what UI I'm in because this fucking game. Alright, what does this account have? That helps. That's 3 stars. That's good. I think that makes 1 star. Yeah, we'll do this because that's 25% or 20% star gen. And then we'll do the 1 star. That's like as good as it's gonna get. Now, actually, switching Mori in when you finally made stars is not bad. The problem is you have to have a unit that has cards then, and I want to be able to get his NP too. But we might have to do something like that. The thing is, I'm not sure this team would ever be able to make stars like on any turn. Oh, I don't know. You could do like that could make stars, and then you switch in after that. I'll try that if this doesn't work. But I want to try to, get his NP, crit at some point, NP at some point, right? We want to do all the things if possible. But, like, you could even give Kojiro Cope Scope, right? You do this, Kojiro NPs make stars, and then the next turn you Star Bomb, and then you switch in Mori, right? That can work, but then Mori, you have to switch with a unit that has, preferably, a Brave Chain, but then that might be the unit that has Taunt, and, there's a lot of problems, but, yeah, we'll see. Well, I think if we puzzle it out, we'll figure something out, but there's no way Mori is actually a good pick on this account. This account would be so much better off with other things. Might have to use the Switch Mystic Code, though. I'll try it with default, because I want to get the attack up on a turn that I do like a nice Brave Chain or something. Yeah, Switch Mystic Code has a lot of options like that are good. Yeah, I know, we're doing old school Star Gen, which literally doesn't work, so we'll see what happens. Come on, Stheno, quick chain. Nope. And see, when this it's already like over, right? Because now the deck I know is spread out in a way that you're never gonna make good stars unless the next hand is 2 Stheno quick cards and like Mori's quick card. If it's not like that specifically, we're dead in the water here. Actually, what we need is for Mori not to get any cards on the next hand. That we no cards, right? Like all Stheno and George cards. Actually, the deck is probably going to shuffle. So if George doesn't die, we get a Mori Brave Chain. The next hand is Buster Quick Art. And I could evade George. Okay. Let's see. We have a quick chain, but it's so bad. George's Stargen is terrible, and that's Stheno's worst quick card with the command codes. So this is not a particularly good timeline here. This is so bad. Like, this is not how to crit. This is not what you're supposed to do. 22 stars! Oh man! RNG, let's go. 60, 50, 70. Oh, no, I forgot. George has to die. George has to die. Because then we need Qin Gong. Even if this crit, this wouldn't be that good anyway. Well, I'll do it just to see, but yeah, we need George to die. So you would need George to die, then get lucky. By the way, I'm so glad they fixed that on NA, because if NA didn't patch it, they patched it when Mori came out. I think they knew. If they hadn't patched it though, that would have no affected or missed or whatever it says. We are favored to crit twice. Not looking good. Of course. We crit one time with the weakest card. This is exactly why, you know, old school Stargin, you know, does not work. What a joke. Hey, look, we got another Brave Chain. Too bad I can't get the buffs now, though. This is where, like, Stheno getting her NP, though, would be good, because you get the big defense down. I mean, honestly, you could probably strong arm this with Mori and just do 600k with like sloppy bullshit, because 600k is not that much. But like you're not really using Mori then, right? Like you could be any, you know, Berserker, like, you know, Hercules would be so much better at that point and stuff like that. Because if I just do like taunts here, like, you know, mash next and things like that, you'll get the damage in, right? It's not that bad. But this is so unsatisfying, right? You want that, those crits, man. I like how Mori keeps getting Brave Chains, though. All right, let me twink this. I think we can have it be a little better than this. We might have to use the Switch Mystica, though. Because even without critting, he almost killed her anyway. Get one shot, by the way. Now he got Kojiro can crit now. How about that? Actually, Kojiro could clean this up. Like, if we wanted to just win right now, Kojiro could clean this up. He's evil, so he does half damage. And, you know, he's got his evade, you got mash, Stheno can remove the guts. I'll show it. I'm going to reset, though, because we want to actually make Mori work. But, yeah, Kojiro is good enough to clean this up. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? I think you don't taunt and you just hope she hits Kojiro, or literally not mash. Just don't hit anyone but mash. That way you can taunt next turn and then you Kojiro evade. The buff removal's good here though. Get rid of the guts. $36K on an assassin. This will actually be close though, because our Kojiro is so unupgraded, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to do it. But I'm gonna reset because I want to try to have Mori. Mori could have done so much more than he did. He just did like generic uncrit face card damage, right? Like whoop-de-doo. Well, he definitely wins because even if he didn't kill this turn, he gets to attack again. So, I'm pretty sure he got it. I'll still show it though before I... Oh, he's got crits. Yeah, it's over. I'll slow-mo so I have more time to cancel the app. Don't even need the extra attack. And if somehow that had not killed... He had the evade, and then he would have killed next turn, so... Okay, let's see if we can make Mori somehow be more effective on this garbage-ass account. It is wild though how this account is missing every single thing that there's so many budget options to support Mori. Leonidas, Mozart, Starbomb CE, Anniversary, Blonde, right? A lot of none. Not a single one of them. Okay. So this could work if I just let George die and you get lucky. Then I could even have... I could do a drive-by with Qin Gong and then switch to Kojiro. I just want big crits, man, right? I just want big crits. I like how people keep saying level Mozart. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what is wrong? Like, you think I am so stupid at this game that I don't know about Mozart or something? Like, what are you talking about? How am I going to level Mozart right now? Like, how, if I can't level, like, look at it. How, yeah, no caster gems. Why would this account have caster gems? Look, like, what is, like, so many people in chat have said that. Like, look at this account. How is it gonna level Mozart's third skill at all when it's this new of an account? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Like, when you look at all these skill ranks, it's like, you really think this account's gonna just casually level up Mozart. Oh, we got the boss music now. Alright. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I guess the deck's gonna shuffle when George dies, so it doesn't actually matter that much. Guess I just art chain, so I absolutely don't have to worry about NP. Yeah, that's another thing. You have to go through all the strengthening quest hell. Yeah, I remember day one, Mozart didn't have his third skill, and NA fucked it up, because I remember on JP, they buffed Robin and Mozart like 2 days after Camelot came out, but NA didn't do it for like ages. Well, this is the turn where you need Stargen, and we did not get it. Let's see, do I stun to just buy another turn? I think Stheno had one quick card in the first hand, and she's one in the, I think Stheno has one quick card in every hand. So the next hand is a Stheno quick card, Mori's quick card, and I have no idea about George. I guess I stun then. I think there's better odds of making stars next turn than this one. Damn it, George had already gotten both his quick. And see, really, this is the turn you want to crit on, because you have two Buster cards. This is why quick was so bad back in the day. Like, it's just RNG on top of RNG. It's insane. We have like one more chance for really good RNG. Damn it. Damn it, I was like, I could at least buff him this turn and like do NP and then like, you know, like maybe one crit, but he didn't get a card. Is there a way I can fix this? Let's see. I can taunt Stheno. That's the one way I can stall here and hope the next hand works better. So what I actually want to have happen is I want Stheno not to die because Mori has no cards here. That means he's basically guaranteed to have cards the next hand. So Stheno dying here would shuffle the deck and run everything. This is like the first time that we have Starjin. I like how she has crit down and she crit anyway. Almost died. Okay, here we go. We've got 27 stars. I actually wish Mori didn't have 3 cards because he only needs 2 and the other card will just hurt. How does he have so much crit right now when he doesn't have his Star Absorb? I'm actually worried that I'm gonna click his Star Absorb button and I'm gonna make it worse. Although I guess the good news is I can switch in Kojiro and make a few more stars. Very few though. Let's see. Why does it have to be 70? Why though? And I'm tempted also because of the Stheno NP because you get that big defense down, but I should do the chain. All right, we'll do slow-mo. Just get lucky. Just get lucky. If everything crits here, it'll be a lot of damage, but oh boy, if it doesn't. We put so many eggs in this basket. Like, the team has no gas left if this doesn't do... Like, it has to do insane damage for this to be worth it. That's okay for just the generic NP. Yes! There we go! Oh, that's... Oh, so good. There we go. That was so worth the bullshit. That was such a bad team, though. That was such a bad team. That is not how you're supposed to set up Mori. Like, I cannot express on so, like, that is not how you use Mori, right? You're supposed to just use Star Bomb CEs and Anniversary Blonde and all that. But hey, we got it. Good lord. We beat it twice, guys. Dude, if that hadn't crit, that would have been so bad. And what's that? I think, wasn't it 70 and 90? So technically both of them could have failed. That would have just been the saddest thing. Honestly, the other one was probably better because like Kojiro's value was kind of better than the crazy RNG there because Kojiro had like excess value. But that setup was way more satisfying. That was way more satisfying. Okay, I think we wrap up there. I have got such a headache now. I'm gonna go take some medicine and hopefully that'll calm down. Let's see. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I want to work in some, you know, bonus streams. I just gotta think of what and when. We've got like a week before Gouda 6. So we'll try to sneak some stuff in there. Oh boy, I'm gonna be whipping AP chat. How about that? Yeah, maybe I'll farm off stream, but I doubt it. Yeah, Elden Ring. Let me just break into From Software and, you know, steal a CD real quick and you know, bring it back. 'Cause, you know, they still make those, right? That'll be in 3 months. We'll play that in 3 months. Anyway, lads, thank you for hanging out. Let's see if there's anybody we can raid real quick. We'll raid... Oh, Kadroth. There we go. We'll raid Kadroth. Alright, boys. I will see you all later, and take care.